we have 37 specifications of Unity Board, but I want to point out things that are just peculiar to it. Like I mentioned initially, that the big question for any solution is, what is the big deal about your solution? What problem is it solving that is new? What is novel? Now, what else is novel is number 9. Hope you can see number 9. Number 9 is solid state relay. Today, when we talk about smart city, automation comes in as well. I'll give a typical example. I live in a compound, I live in a bungalow. I don't need the gate man to be opening my gate. I've automated my gate. Okay, how do I open my gate without coming down from the car? Or how do I switch on my AC? I can decide to use my location-based solution, maybe using my GPS, GRS, that as my car is getting close to my house, it sends information to the board, it opens the gate. But the big question is that, how do you switch 220 volt from 5 volt? Talking about TTL logic, TTL, okay? So this Unity board has onboard solid state relay that can switch 220 volts directly, meaning that you can plug in 220 volts into it, have the output power your fridge, power your AC. You don't see anybody doing it today as I speak with you, directly without having to put a shield on it or hack it or put some auxiliary board. The Unity board has it inbuilt automatically on it. That's one of the peculiarities I have to point out. The number 2 is your solid state relay, number 7. Sorry, solid state memory. The Unity board contains 16 megabyte solid state memory, not card, that can contain 32,000 fingerprints. 512 kilobyte template, it can contain 32,000 on board. So if you're doing authentication, you don't have to start connecting to your backend, especially areas of maybe network blackout. Then another thing I want to point out is your crypto authentication. Now, to talk about cyber security, because you see, one thing that security brings about is trust. We're able to do our transaction because of trust. So now, how do we maintain that very trust? It's through security measures. So we introduce what they call a crypto authentication security IC. So much so that if I send a binary file remotely to the board, it knows if it's coming from the right source or not from the right source to avoid the hacking. And we know that security is very, very key. So that's another part. Then another thing is a FOTA. Now, FOTA, that's number 31, is very important. Now, I want to tell you a little bit of story around it. You see, the cost of ownership of devices in Nigeria is very, very challenging. So I mean devices, I mean things like your mobile phone, your computer, your laptop, and your desktop. Today, we know the rate of dollar to naira. So buying a new laptop today, you have to keep at least 300 to 400,000. I'm not even talking of people in the villages. They are human beings. How do you carry them along in the spirit of digital inclusion or in the spirit of bridging the diversity gaps? So comes the question, how do you reduce the cost of ownership of devices so that people in the rural area should be able to be participants when it comes to these 4th industrial revolution skills? That is why we came up with a solution with the board, introduce what they call FOTA, firmware over the air. Means that you can remotely program the board. So we introduce the Bluetooth that you can pair with your mobile phone. So anybody that has a mobile phone, you just download the Bluino. A Bluino is like an Arduino application. So a Bluino application, you can use your phone to program the board directly without hacking. Just pay it, you send the code everywhere. And this is wonderful, especially if you're into robotics, where you have a robot somewhere or you want to actually demo, you don't want to be connecting wires to it. You can actually remotely program the board using Bluetooth in our own case.